Hey, what's going on, YouTube? So I am doing something I don't usually do. I'm doing a little review on this car. It's a Volkswagen Atlas SUV. I believe it is based off of the new Audi Q7. It shares the same size. I don't know about the engine. I'm sure it doesn't share the same engine because the Audi has a supercharged V6. This doesn't have a supercharger, but however, it is a V6. I'm sure some other similar things. It's probably built on the same chassis. Without really knowing that for sure, I'm just going to talk about just our experience with this car. We rented the car maybe 4 days ago, and it's not what we went out for. We was just going to get a sedan. We were looking for something in a hybrid because we're going to take a trip from Pennsylvania to Kentucky, which is around 700 miles. So we were looking for something that we can save gas on, and the only thing they had, even though we did reserve a certain type of car, was SUV. So it was either this or the Ford Explorer, and we chose this just because it's something different. So we just wanted to give it a shot. So it does have 3 rows of seats. So actually, we did use the 3rd row one time during our trip, and it drove pretty well. Pretty much all highway, a lot of mountain passes, so up and down mountains for about good 4 or 5 hours. And the car ran good. It has good pickup. It feels very similar to our Audi A4, or I shouldn't call it A4, our Audi Allroad. The transmission, I would believe, is probably the same, if not some type of similar variant of that Audi 8-speed transmission. And because it has the same features, it feels the same, it shifts the same as our Allroad, and it does feel like it has a little bit more power just initially because it does not have a turbocharged engine like our Allroad does, and our Allroad does have a lot of lag. As far as convenience, it seems like it's pretty good. It doesn't have a built-in navigation, but it does have Apple CarPlay, and some type of Android setup on the stereo. So I guess it figures that you would just use your own GPS on your phone, since most people use that anyway. So you just plug your device up to this head unit here, and it will pretty much pull in all of your apps. Well, it only pulls in the Apple, for me, I use the Apple phone, and it only pulled in the Apple based apps. So it pulled in the Apple Music player, the Messenger, my phone, and the Apple Google Maps, whatever they use. So I use Waze personally, and it did not open up that app for me. As far as other features, it does have the Bluetooth, and it does have voice activation. And what else? The car was very comfortable. My kids like the back seat because it does recline, and it also has they have their own climate controls, so they can access heat and AC independently of the front area of the car, which is kind of cool. I can tell this car is probably more of a basic model, even though it does come with some leather interior. Everything else does feel like it's of standard quality. It doesn't have any like wood grain or anything fancy. It does have a nice soft touch dashboard. It would be better if the dashboard stitching was done in a different color, or just feel a little bit more premium. And it doesn't have any sunroof, as you can see right there. Our Allroad has a panoramic sunroof, which we've come to really love. You don't feel so closed in or claustrophobic in that car. The car is really spacious though. First thing we noticed when we sat in it seems like I had an extra 6 inches away from my passenger, and that feels good. I mean, you don't want to be all up on people on a long road, so we definitely had enough room in here. One of the things I don't like about this car is, first thing, when you connect the Apple Play, it is not really friendly with Sirius Radio. So if we want to listen to Sirius Radio as we're driving, anytime a direction was being told through Apple Play, through the maps, it cut off the Sirius Radio, which is fine, but it won't cut it back on. So we have to physically reach over and then turn the Sirius back on, and that happened a lot. That became annoying. And the other thing is it has that start-stop feature, and I don't like that feature. I don't think it's worth the little bit of gas you might be saving using that start-stop, because even though it's fairly quick at restarting the car, there is a lag, and sometimes when the light turns green, I hit the gas, and there's a little hesitation because the car has to start back up again. Yeah, I tried to find the option to turn that off, and I could not find it. I'm pretty sure you can. I've been in other cars where I was able to turn that off, but in this car I couldn't find that feature, so I pretty much just live with it. It's been hot, so when it turns off, your AC starts to blow warm, so that's kind of stupid. I'd rather be comfortable and just use the little bit of gas I'm going to use idling at a stop sign or in traffic or something else. Oh, this car also has a weird problem. I don't know if it's just this car with the transmission, but it wants you to be completely stopped before you put it in reverse. I mean, you should be stopped before throwing it in reverse, but this car wants you to be stopped for at least a second, and otherwise you get the most violent, loud bang ever. So the rental person told me about this because he took the car home on his own. He's like, look, this is what you need to do with this car. So I don't know, maybe it's just this car, maybe that's just a thing with these cars, but I would not buy this car. That would definitely not be a car that I'll buy just because of that. I mean, that just sounds like it was damaging something. It happened to me about 3 times. I was trying to be really mindful of it when I threw it in reverse, but sometimes it just like, I feel as though I waited, a second or so, and it's still banged into reverse. So yeah, I don't know if Volkswagen, you might want to look at that. Maybe this car is just broken, it's just been abused. The car only had 2,600 miles on it when we got it. It has 4,400. 4 or 5 days and we put that many miles on it. We put actually 1,800 miles on the car. So we did do a little off-roading because the place that we rented was off the beaten path. We actually had to ride up a dirt road and rocky road just to get to it. I might make a video about that because that just deserves its own video. We rented a place that was not exactly what we thought it was going to be. I didn't get a chance to really off-road it, but it seems like it's quite capable. It does have a lot of ground clearance, so I don't see why it wouldn't work in an off-road situation. You do have some options there for like off-roading, and it's right here. You can turn to 4-wheel drive mode. Well, it's already on all-wheel drive, but I guess it probably messes with the gear ratios and the differential and things. But other than that, the car looks pretty good. It's kind of dorky on the wheel setup. The wheels are probably a little bit too small for it. It's like a bodybuilder that skipped leg day. We are here at the place returning it, and what I would say about this car is, would I buy it? No, based off of the transmission, I wouldn't buy this particular car. But I'm sure there's some nicer premium models, and they might look good. They might have some better exterior options and wheels. And but as far as roominess is concerned, it's a nice car. I mean, it has good power, and yeah. So I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate this car, as far as SUV, a 6.5. All right, that's it. So see you in the next video.